Good evening. Another weekend of Barclays Women's Super League to bring you as last season's top three take the spotlight.
Brighton will pick it up. Here is Kirby, 1-0 Chelsea. A touch of class from the champions. It's Miedemar!
Arsenal are just too sharp.
Frustration for City. They've been questioned, and they're coming up with the answers.
Only the strong will survive. Only the strong will survive.
Coming up, the title holders Chelsea had their eyes set on making it 12 wins from 13. They travelled to Brighton. Liverpool, the side that conquered the champions on the opening day, hoped to put an end to Arsenal's perfect start. And Manchester City visited the capital, looking to keep up their 100% record away from home against Tottenham. We've got all the action and analysis to come with the centre-back pairing of former WSL defenders Anita Asante and Fern Whelan. Now, across the weekend's fixtures, all teams continue to show their support for Stonewall's Rainbow Laces campaign to promote both equality and inclusivity, both on and off the pitch. And we're going to start the programme with one of Fern's former clubs, Brighton, as they entertain Chelsea. The Seagulls have only won one of their last 7 attempts against Chelsea. Chelsea, of course, looking to keep pace at the top of the table. On commentary for this one, Robin Cowan.
Let's get your teams then. 2 changes for Brighton, who lost 4-0 to Manchester United last weekend. Georgia Fox is ineligible as she's on loan from Chelsea, while Danielle Carter drops to the bench. Libby Bance and Beatriki Sari come in. Rebecca Stott and Megan Connolly are fit enough to be named among the substitutes. And as expected, with only 3 days passed since their Champions League game in Paris, there are 7 changes to the team that won against PSG. First minutes of the season for Jess Carter and Anique Nouwen. Johanna Wrighting-Canarid makes her first WSL start after joining in the summer from Häcken. Beth England is named in the starting lineup for the first time this season, and she leads the Chelsea attack. Turland. That was risky to try that. Wanted to get things going quickly, but here come Chelsea with Canarid and left the ball behind. Fleming goes down. It's a free kick to Chelsea. A real sticky patch there. Ball just held up. Fleming flattened. Opportunity from the set piece for Chelsea. Perisset. It's a good ball in. A really good stop from Walsh. Lovely floated ball. Charles on the end of it. Unmarked. Walsh kept her concentration and palmed it out of danger. Charles tries the back heel this time. Lee Gunmin. Oh, well, Williams took a chance there. Wasn't too many complaints, but that looked risky. Williams not aware that Fleming was on her toes. Debatable. Libby Bance, oh, she's turned into trouble. And this could be a chance. England! Tremendous save from Walsh. Well, Bance lost it. She was closed down very quickly. Really good effort from Beth England, but tipped over brilliantly by Walsh. Well, this game was in doubt ahead of kick-off pitch inspection, which was passed, but you can see patches of the pitch not perfect. Here's Charles for Chelsea. Lays it off, Fleming. It's another good save by Walsh. England tucks it in, but the flag is up. Goal has been ruled out. And Charles found herself in a lot of space here. Picked out the right ball And that's a very good decision from the assistant referee. Perisset. Kaneryd. Lovely give and go. Kaneryd. Green concedes the corner under pressure from Niamh Charles. Good decision by Green to do that. Perisset with the deep corner. It's one. Well, it's off the line, but it's poked in by Beth England. Finally, Chelsea find the breakthrough. Towering header over the head of Megan Walsh, and Poppy Pattinson couldn't quite do enough to keep it out. Beth England made sure. Chelsea have had to work really hard for it, but they do lead. Robinson into Bants. Now Lee. Corner kick. Good play. Certainly posed an attacking threat during this game, Brighton. Corner kick. Lee Bright wins it. Back in. On tremendous save from Ann-Katrin Berger. Down low quickly to her right. Bright got the first contact, but it was picked up, and Turland turned it towards goal, but couldn't beat Berger. Sam Kerr got the tracksuit off, but bib's still on. Carter. Gonna get around Robinson, she's done just that. Jess Carter still going. Kaneryd. Didn't open up for her, off the crossbar. Chelsea so close to a second. Perisset's shot. An absolute rocket. Head down, foot through it. Brighton has shown real bravery and quality to bring wheels out from the back. That's a really good ball to Robinson. Can she finish? Katie Robinson! She can't, Kansari! No! Best chance of the game for Brighton. Very tight angle. Not sure if she meant to pull it across for Sari. Either way, she couldn't make anything of it either. Record crowd at Crawley, 3,626. Record for the WSL. Could be a chance for Chelsea to wrap up the points here. Harder does just that. They've had to fight for this. But as Brighton tried to pose more of a threat in attack, they've been caught. Brighton light at the back. Harder went for power and beats Megan Walsh. All over. Another win for Chelsea. 3 points. A valuable 3 points. Full time. Brighton 0, Chelsea 2.
It's always a tough place to come to. Brighton seem to raise the game, particularly when they play us every season. You know, we've drawn here a couple of times in the past and won by the odd goal. So coming off the back of Thursday night's away game in Paris, I think it's a great result for us.
They brought on their big guns towards the end to try and win the game, and I guess that's a compliment to us. Disappointed with the result, but happy in the way that we approached the game. We had real fighting spirit today, but sadly not enough.
Sadly not enough, as Hope Powell said. Chelsea getting the job done for them, but they were made to work for it today.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you know, Hope Powell has just said, they're kind of disappointed, which says a lot for them. I think in previous seasons gone by, Chelsea have always kind of struggled a little bit against Brighton, so I think they'll be pleased at the back end of a Champions League week as well. A tough week for them and tiring week. I think they'll be pleased with the 2-0 win. OK, let's take a look again at the goals, because Anita, firstly, 1-0 goes down as a Bethany England goal. Should it have?
No, for me, this is definitely a Niamh Charles goal. She rises really well above the Brighton defender there, makes contact with that looping header that hits the crossbar, and you just see it here drop down behind the line there. And you know, Bethany England is the quickest to react and follow in just to make sure, but definitely for me, Niamh Charles' goal.
Yeah, I have to agree with Anita there on that one. I think you can see, I think it drops down behind the line, so it's Niamh Charles' goal all day for me.
Incidentally, I think after that one, Bethany England was surprised herself that it went to her, and she wanted to give it to Niamh Charles because she deserved it. Now, Chelsea went 1-0 up. You've already alluded to the fact that you were impressed with how Brighton approached this game. The heads didn't go down at 1-0, and they actually forced a really good save from Ann-Katrin Berger just 2 minutes after.
Yeah, definitely. They went straight up the other end of the pitch. You know, in previous seasons they may have crumbled, but they went straight up the other end. Elizabeth Taylor does really well to adjust her feet and to get the shot off. But it's a great save from Ann-Katrin Berger. She gets down to her right-hand side really sharply, and, you know, that could change the game there. It could be 1-1 straight away. So, you know, real good save from Ann-Katrin Berger there.
Chelsea made 7 changes, Anita, coming into this game, but did we really see their strength in depth today, particularly with their second goal?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a tough week for them, but you see here, Ingle manages to pickpocket the midfielder from Brighton. Kerr with that lovely forward pass into the path of Pernille Harder, who only has one thought in her mind, and that is smash the ball hard into the roof of the goal. You know, it kind of goes directly at Megan Walsh, but I think the power and the pace of the ball was just too difficult for her to make that save, and it's a wonderful finish from Pernille Harder.
Yeah, some of those substitutions that Chelsea made in that second half, Hope Powell must have been like, oh gosh.
Yeah, and the players as well.
Yes.
I mean, they've worked tirelessly for obviously the first half into the 70th minute, and then you make Sam Kerr comes on, Pernille Harder comes on, and you know, they'll be disappointed with obviously them coming on, but it just shows the strength and depth in Chelsea's squad, doesn't it?
Chelsea did get the job done. Had they not got the job done, Anita, would we be sitting here talking about a penalty that they should have had in the first half?
Yeah, for me, I think it's definitely a dubious situation. Any centre-back knows once you're in the box in that situation, you have to have the awareness of the sense of danger. And Victoria Williams here takes that loose touch, which allows Fleming to just nip in front of her and win the ball. And they're very unfortunate here to not get a penalty in Chelsea's favour, but for Brighton, they've been let off there.
Yeah, I think she's just a bit lax, isn't she? She doesn't check a shoulder, Victoria Williams, and obviously Jessie Fleming's just come in and she's clipped her and it's contact in the box, and for me, it's a penalty as well.
Big win for Chelsea, but you've said it a few times just how impressed you were with Brighton. What was it that especially impressed you today?
I think, given the injuries they've got on the side and the way they've maybe had to play players out of position, I think, you know, they really showed that actually they don't have to just sit off today. They took the game to Chelsea. They broke through Chelsea's press. And Katie Robinson as well on the right-hand side. For me, she was a bright spark today for Brighton. You know, she caused Jess Carter problems on the left-hand side. A lot of what, you know, Brighton created came through her. So for me, they've got some real positives to take from the game today.
OK, some positives for Brighton, but unfortunately no points today. Now, next to one of two sides to keep an impeccable record since the start of the campaign, the league leaders Arsenal could equal theirs and Manchester City's record for the most consecutive WSL wins if they were to beat Liverpool. Before that, though, we caught up with Caitlin Ford.
From my early ages of football, I was always a winger or a forward, and then at the age of 16 I actually converted to a right back. That's actually where I broke into the national team, and I was probably there for 4 years before I worked my way back up in the front line. I'm obviously a right footer on the left side, and I guess it is pretty unique as you're seen as the left winger as a right-footed player. Ever since I could walk, run, I was always so competitive. It didn't matter what I did, I always wanted to win. I always wanted to be the best, and yeah, I think that's what's been able to take me to the next level, just that drive and yeah, determination to always want to win. Mentally, as a forward, you're expected to score and expected to create, and obviously if you haven't done that for a few games or a game or two, it is easy to start to feel pressure or put pressure on yourself. But I just enjoy the freedom of being able to express myself and to be able to showcase what I can bring and what I can bring to the team. And I think just being in this group with these players, it's enjoyable every time you step out on the pitch. What makes a good winger is the skill on the ball, to dribble, take people on, to want to drive at people, but also I think the quality of the cross and at the same time being able to finish as well. again, as a forward, I think you can always improve in different techniques of finishing, and as much as I can, I always try to get repetition in that, and yeah, just keep building on the qualities I'm good at, but obviously the ones I'm not, to try and get better. My advice would be to anyone that wants to come up and be a professional footballer would just be to have fun, enjoy it, and if you love it, stick with it. Hard work and the sacrifices, they do pay off in the end.
On duty in Merseyside, Farrah Williams and Vicky Sparks.
2 changes from their 1-0 defeat at Tottenham. Megan Campbell and Kerry Holland in for Rachel Furness and Missy Bow-Cairns, who dropped to the bench. Katie Stengel has scored both of Liverpool's WSL goals this season, both from the spot, as we've seen against Chelsea. Leanne Kiernan, Liverpool's top scorer and player of the year last season, and Netherlands winger Shanice van der Sanden are still out. Arsenal are unchanged from the side that thumped Lyon in their own backyard on Wednesday, which means that WSL's all-time leading goal scorer, Vivianne Miedema, is only on the bench once again. Frida Maanum keeps her place after excelling against the French Giants, notching up a goal and an assist. Maanum. Wins the corner.
And that was great defending there from Flaherty down the right-hand side against Maanum.
So Catley with the corner for Arsenal. High delivery looking for Ruben Moy once more. Will fall to Valti. Oh, caught that very nicely. 1-0 to Arsenal at Liverpool. And Lia Valti has her first goal in the WSL.
Liverpool actually get the first contact on the corner. It just falls to Valti and she hits it so cleanly. You can see Holland there goes rushing out to try and block the shot. But the strike is so clean and into the back of the net. A fantastic strike.
Here is Little. Ford. Maanum. Oh, lovely turn from Frida Maanum. Lovely goal from Frida Maanum. Big smile on her face, and why not? She's kept her place in the side ahead of Miedema, and having scored against Lyon, she scores against Liverpool, and Arsenal lead by 2-0.
It's a fantastic goal. It starts out on the left. Caitlin Ford just picks it up on the touchline and drives a cute little pass, but the footwork from Maanum inside the box to roll Fahy and smash it past Lawley. Deserved from Arsenal, 2-0 lead.
Keep me in the side, boss. That's her message. Midway through this first half at Prenton Park. And that rhythm from Arsenal is only getting better. Here is Ford. Will go it alone, and it's off the post. Liverpool rocking. Let off for the home side. Here goes Maanum. It's 3-on-2 here for Arsenal. Maanum, excellent challenge, still has it. Little, should have been 3-0. A lovely flowing move from Arsenal, and their captain can't finish it off.
Again, a really good move from Arsenal, and again, it's down that left-hand side. Maanum drives into the box, and the set's a little on the edge of the box. She fires over the bar.
Here goes Megan Campbell into Stengel, space to turn. Miscue by Ford, big shout for a handball, good save Zinsberger. Koivisto who kept playing, so did the Arsenal goalkeeper. Now Koivisto asked for the handball, and Liverpool are not going to get that decision. They almost got a goal back regardless.
They did, you can see here. Caitlin Ford just miskicks it. It bounces up towards her arm. I wouldn't say that her arm's in an unnatural position, so for me it's not a penalty, having looked back at the replay.
Arsenal get on a run here. Here is Mead. Slides it through to Ford. Great save, Laws. Stood up tall and denies Caitlin Ford Arsenal's third.
And these are the difference between the two teams in the final third. And this is brave and a fantastic save by Rachel Laws to come out and make herself big.
And Farah, it looks as though Arsenal's momentum is very much continuing forward.
It does, and you've seen today, you know, they are relentless defensively. They don't want to concede goals as much as they want to go and attack and score. I think the pride in not wanting to concede is there as well.
Catley and Mitz, and saved by Laws from Mead. Well, she's had a quiet afternoon, Beth Mead. Hasn't always had the service she would have liked, but an effort on target for the Ballon d'Or runner-up. Here is Ford as Arsenal look to wrap it up. What a chance. What a chance for Beth Mead and Jonas Eidevall knows it. Well, she's smiling now, Mead, in disbelief as much as anything else.
I just think she's got her feet wrong. You know, her foot placement isn't right and she's gone with the wrong foot and catches it over on the volley and over the bar.
Liverpool have run out of time. Arsenal march on after an outstanding night in France on Wednesday. It's another polished, professional performance on Sunday. It finishes at Prenton Park. Liverpool 0, Arsenal 2.
We had obviously a short turnaround and a bit of travel, so yeah, definitely felt it towards the end. It was definitely a grind to finish the game out, but in saying that, we had plenty more chances as well, which we could have finished and gone a bit ahead and took the pressure off us.
I thought we'd done well. Obviously, they're a good team and they punished us on the counter-attack, and that's the way they set up today. But listen, I was frustrated. We should have got a penalty. I've seen it back. I mean, the law is her hand's up there. She's kicked it off her hand and it's a penalty in it. Could change the game.
We'll come on to that penalty incident very shortly, but Anita, it's remarkable for Arsenal, isn't it? 12 straight wins, 10 straight clean sheets. Was today a fairly routine win for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a really accomplished and solid, complete performance from Arsenal. You know, they started the game well because despite Liverpool pressing them quite aggressively in that first half, but off the back of a brilliant week, midweek against Lyon as well, the 5 goals they've scored, they're just full of confidence and they stuck with the same team and rightly so because they have the momentum.
We heard from Caitlin Ford just then. She was the player of the match. It was an eventful afternoon for her at both ends of the pitch. Firstly, the positives. What did you like about her performance today, Fern?
I'm not sure there was a blade of grass that she didn't cover. But she said obviously in the VT she likes to drive in from the left and cut on her right, and she does this really well. She just drives the players. She's so positive, comes in on her right foot there and then slides in freedom on. It was a great first touch and finish from here was unbelievable. But she was just causing defenders nightmares left, right and centre. Again, cutting in on her right, and she's not afraid to take the shot, just comes off the post, this one here. But she covers so much ground and, you know, she comes out wide, she comes in short, and she takes shots as well. So she's a really positive, bright spark in that.
She's kind of Henri-esque, you know, right-footed, playing on the left, that cuts in, can see the whole goal and take those shooting opportunities. But, you know, she stretches the opposition defenders because she'll keep width, but sometimes she'll come infield as well and cause those problems. You don't know whether to go with her or drop off. And, you know, I know, having played against her, that that's what makes her such a difficult player.
OK, I mentioned before that it was eventful. Matt Beard has mentioned he thought it was a penalty. Did you agree?
I have to disagree with him, actually. I think it would have been really harsh. The reason for that, I think, is as she's, you know, it's come in here at her, and I think as she's gone to clear it, her body is, you know, she's not in control of her limbs. I feel like her arm is close to her body. I don't feel like it's up and too far away. So I think it would have been really harsh on that, you know, to concede a penalty from that. I am a defender, so I might be slightly biased.
I was going to say, we probably haven't got the most neutral kind of panel in the studio today, have we? Liverpool, in terms of their aspects of performance, did they show in patches today that they can compete at this level, but is it potentially just not falling for them in front of goal?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that they're a team that can threaten from set-piece situations, but today they were really wasteful. You know, here Lawley picks up the ball in a wide area, the poor execution of the cross, a decent delivery here in the corner, but just not able to find that contact in the box and really put Arsenal under pressure. And I think this was kind of the story of the game for Liverpool, because these are the opportunities that they work hard for, especially against top opposition like Arsenal. You're not going to create as much in open play. So when you get the opportunity, like you see here, falls to a centre-back, Fahy is actually the one taking the shot on the edge of the box. They've not got, you know, their sort of forward players. That obviously they're missing Kiernan, who's a massive threat, and Van der Sanden, as Fern mentioned in the break. You know, those are key players that hopefully can make the difference.
Before we move on, just one thing to clear up. At the end of the game, Viviane Miedema, of course, was on the bench for the second consecutive game. The cameras panned and she was in what looked like a heated discussion with her manager. Anything to be worried about there, do you think?
Personally, not for me. I don't think it's too much to be worried about. I think she's obviously not used to being in that position. She's now being kept out of the side, and, you know, rightly so at the moment. But I think, you know, she's a passionate player and she's going to want to be in that starting 11. But for me, it's nothing to worry about. I think she's just kind of wearing her heart on her sleeve a little bit and showing her emotions.
And we know she does do that, don't we? She likes to be passionate. She's one of the more passionate players in the WSL. Now we're going to move on to North London. Spurs were looking to make it 3 consecutive home league wins for the first time in their history against a Manchester City side who got their first win of the campaign last weekend. Commentary for this one comes from Sam Smith.
There are 2 changes from the Spurs side who beat Liverpool last Sunday. Becky Spencer is back in goal after a game on the sidelines as Tina Riccacopella drops to the bench. New signing Ellie Brazil gets her first start, replacing another recent arrival, Nicola Karczewska. And on the bench, there is a return from a lengthy suspension for Chiomo Abugagu. Gareth Taylor is looking for his side to build some rhythm as he names an unchanged City lineup from last weekend's rout of Leicester. Alex Greenwood retains the captaincy, with Steph Houghton once again dropping to the bench. Whilst the manager has a number of attacking options up his sleeve, he's showing great faith in his youngsters, with Esme Morgan, Alexandri and Castellanos retaining their places. Quite a frantic start to this game, and it's a mistake from Roebuck. And Greenwood very quickly across to mop up. It's a little lack of concentration in the opening couple of minutes from the City goalkeeper. A really nasty coming together there. So a really dramatic opening couple of minutes here. And they're not taking any chances with that knee that was injured so badly for the young player just a few seasons ago. Experienced Amy Turner away. Now Bizet. Kelly and Greenwood over the ball. Kelly, and that was an excellent chance for the tall figure of Esme Morgan. Cross from Kelly, just misses the head of Shaw. It's Coombs, still Coombs, now it's Hemp. Oh, did Spencer get a fingertip? Just a fraction off target. But a warning, an early one for the Spurs defence. Now it's Hemp. But unfortunately, there's no one there. So, Hasegawa with a chance. That just took a very slight defection off Anurag James. It's a goal, and once again, it's Bunny Shaw. And that now is 13 goals from her last 13 starts. So physical, loses Sumanen, Once again, she puts City in front. For an awful lot of that first half, the Spurs defence did keep Kadisha Shaw quite quiet, but Shaw is on the ball here now and has a go, and it's a second goal for Kadisha Shaw. She is flying. Two last week against Leicester, a pair here, and Spurs in big trouble now right at the start of this second half. Now stealing it. Summoner, can she find anything here? Neville switching wings. And nutmegs Morgan, finding her way into the box. It's Spence. First real chance for the Jamaican international. But Neville and Spence combining well here. Once more with Coombs. Now the danger from Hemp. Shaw is there. Is Hemp going to go all the way? Lauren Hemp. How she loves scoring. And a second goal of the season for the England striker. Shaw was waiting, but found the angle. And that's Spencer in the end. Easily beaten. Gareth Taylor certainly must be feeling that his side is starting to settle after so many changes and players coming and going at the start of the season. But from this performance, they can start to build some confidence. Is there an opportunity here for Spurs? It's with Naz right now, but quickly closed out the game and away by City. Can they find a fourth? Kelly, oh, just wide. Had more time than she thought. Would love to get scoring this season. Well, it is back-to-back wins for Gareth Taylor's Manchester City side as they look to build confidence, and it was a performance full of authority. City dominate this fixture, as they always have done. It's Spurs 0, City 3.
I didn't think we had too much to kind of contend with, and that was because we got it right at the other end of the pitch in terms of like our press. But I thought when they did penetrate and get through, I thought our defence held it out really well. I can't remember Ellie really having to make a save. Really dominant performance from us. Probably should have scored a few more goals because I'm greedy and want more as usual. But I have to say, I think coming here with a new team, we've made no secret about that, and new players, I think the girls were top today and performed really well.
Overall, it's our most consistent performance over 90 minutes, and I think the scoreline's a difficult one to take, but you know, we've essentially affected that ourselves from the mistakes.
Well, Gareth Taylor understandably very happy. It does feel like maybe now, Fern, Manchester City's season has liftoff. What did you make of them today?
Yeah, I think they were very assured in all areas of the pitch. I think off the back of the 4-0 win against Leicester the week before, I think they're building in confidence. I think the front three look frightening in terms of Chloe Kelly, Lauren Hemp and Bunny Shaw. I mean, she was brilliant today, Bunny Shaw as well. So yeah, I think it was a very professional performance from them. They could have scored more. And they weren't really tested at the back in terms of what Spurs had to build. So yeah, they'll be happy with that win.
Let's take a look at some of these frightening front three then, starting with Bunny Shaw. She's got 5 WSL goals for this season now. She's the top scorer. What did you like about these goals, and what have you liked about all the goals she's scored so far?
I think it's the range of finishing and ability she has. The first goal is obviously from a corner situation where she loses Samanan in the box. And here it's her back press to actually go back, put some pressure on that Tottenham midfielder, win the ball, make that direct run in behind, and the confidence to take the strike early so the goalkeeper can't set her feet quick enough and finish it and put it away, bottom corner, was sublime.
Lauren Hemp sealed the result on 76 minutes with a brilliant goal. But it wasn't just her goal, it was her whole wing play, wasn't it? Hers and Chloe Kelly's.
Yeah, hers and Chloe Kelly's. I think the threat of them, both of them, they were brilliant down the flanks. They were so direct, and the first thought is to try and get a cross into the box, and, you know, Hemp could have scored there like she did last week against Leicester. But both of them, I mean, look at the pace here from Lauren Hemp. She's so direct, so quick, and she did it time and time again. This wasn't the only opportunity. Bunny Shaw maybe, disappointed she didn't get the finish there. But this, they're so powerful. I think Chloe Kelly, it's like they've been unleashed. The confidence between the two of them is unbelievable off the back of the Euros, and probably should have scored there as well. So, yeah, they were flying, and everything came through the pair of them in this game.
There's very few players that can cover distance at speed the way these two wide forwards do and get the team into attack mode. They can individually do that and create so many opportunities to score.
And for that goal as well there, say Amy Turner, great 1v1 defender, but Lauren Hemp kind of turns her inside out. She doesn't know which way to go. She comes on her right, goes out on her left, and I think she causes so many problems for defenders because they don't know whether to get tight.
And of course, you're speaking from recent experience playing against them as well, Anita.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a centre-back or any defender's nightmare to face quick players that have that close ball control, can weave in and out and drop a shoulder and feint, but also have the ability to finish coolly and calmly and also assist in those positions.
Now, Rhiannon Skinner said post-match that she was really pleased with the performance. She talked about it being a more complete performance. What did they do well today? What did they execute that she will have liked?
I think she will have liked the way they pressed. They did it really well the week before against Liverpool. They were, they were really aggressive in the press. They went in numbers. Drew Spence a lot of the time was the player who led the press for them, but you can see they don't go in isolation and they just try and counter and stifle Man City's attack a little bit. So I think she'll be really pleased with that. I think she'll be disappointed they didn't register a shot on target in this game, and when they did get the ball they were slightly more wasteful, especially if you look in this area. To get a really good opportunity to cross the ball, but it's more of a bit of a hit and hope cross rather than a pinpoint cross that we might see from a Lauren Hemp or a Chloe Kelly. So I think they've got to be a little bit more clinical when they do get the ball and take care of it that little bit more, because obviously against teams like City you might not see as much of the ball.
Well, an entertaining afternoon between Spurs and Manchester City, but now we're going to round up the remaining 3 matches, starting with Manchester United's trip to a struggling Leicester City. Emma Jones can bring us the best of the action.
Manchester United came into this fixture unbeaten and yet to concede in the WSL. And in the first half, a few chances, they came closest as a nice passing move saw left-back Hannah Blundell forcing Kirsty Lavelle into a save. And in the 34th minute, summer signing Nikita Parris got on the score sheet with her first goal for United, nodding in Katie Zellam's driven free kick. In the second half, Leicester came close to an equaliser, Mary Earps denying Josie Green's dipping volley. The England #1 holding on for her 4th clean sheet in as many games.
I felt that we dominated the game without really kind of killing the game off. And what is great for us, that's a difference in us. We actually had to go through a game where we're not being peppered, we're not having to do a lot of defending, but we had to stay focused. And I'm really pleased with the team today. It could be easy for me to go, oh, we want goals, but actually we've seen a different side to us today, so I'm really pleased with that.
Everton had won both of their away games against Aston Villa in the WSL today, scoring a total of 7 goals without reply. And despite the visitors dominating the early possession, Villa had the first clear-cut chance as Laura Blinkilla-Brown went agonisingly close. The breakthrough for the visitors came early in the second half as Manchester City loanee Jess Park found Gabby George with enough space to send in a looping cross that was met by Lucy Graham for her first goal of the season. Everton came close to a second as the lively Park was denied by a fine save from Anna Leet. The Toffees holding on to win consecutive away WSL games for the first time since March 2021.
If you look at the stats of the game, we had the ball a lot, I think we controlled a larger part of it, but we weren't. They were also dangerous in some moments. But happy we get the 3 points, and then we take that in and move on.
West Ham were unbeaten in their last 3 games against Reading in the WSL, and it took them just 4 minutes to open the scoring as Dani Brynjarsdottir headed home her 4th goal in 4 games in all competitions. Halfway through the first half, the hosts doubled their lead. Vivian Asseyi latching onto a loose ball to smash home her first goal for the Hammers. And just 7 minutes later, the centre-forward had grabbed another. A perfectly weighted through ball from Mel Phillis, capping off a dominant first-half display. But midway through the second half, the visitors pulled one back as Charlie Welling got hers and the club's 2nd goal of the campaign. With less than 10 minutes to go, Reading were awarded a lifeline as a Kate Longhurst foul on Rachel Rowe saw referee Lauren Impey point to the spot. Up stepped substitute Sane Troelsgaard, who slotted it away. But despite their second-half resurgence, the Royals couldn't complete the comeback.
I thought it was fantastic first half, and to go 3 goals in was a credit to my team. The second half, it weren't so good. But listen, at the start of the game, we wanted 3 points, and we've come away with our 3 points, and that's 2-2 for us now.
Yeah, 2-2 for West Ham. We'll talk about them in just a moment, but let's start by talking about Manchester United. It's the first time they've won the opening 4 games of the season. They're only off top spot in the league because of alphabetical reasons, because Arsenal are above them. They're really flying high, aren't they?
Yeah, they're off to a flying start. You know, they're missing obviously Alessia Russo, but they've added lots more depth to the squad as well. And today you saw, you know, the likes of Blundell getting up on the flank, causing overloads and all sorts of problems, and getting a goal through Nikita Paris, their new signing as well, is exactly the kind of attributes you want from the whole squad, that they can contribute when you're missing certain players, and it's a long season and you've got to get these kinds of results.
Yeah, 11 scored for Manchester United, 9 different scorers, so that will certainly please them, I'm sure. I mentioned we were going to talk about West Ham. They're building some momentum, aren't they? It wasn't quite as eventful in their game today as it was last week, we should also say, but a couple of wins for them now, their season really getting up and running as well.
Yeah, definitely. They're there or thereabouts, just off the, you know, the top half of the table, and for me they're a bit of a surprise entity, I'll be honest, as to where they are in the season. But we were discussing it, weren't we, before coming on, that they, you know, they're building from the back, the way they're playing some really nice football, but actually, you know, they've got that heart, they've got that aggression, and they've got players like Kate Longhurst who've been there, you know, week in, week out. She knows what it is to be an iron, as they're called. So yeah, I think, you know, they're building and they're doing really well. They'll be really pleased with where they are and how they've started the season.
In contrast, Anita, your former club Aston Villa, we all got very excited with some of their summer signings and the way they started unbeaten after the first few games. It's now back-to-back defeats. What's changed?
Yeah, I think consistency is a big issue for them, and it's something that they've got to, you know, be mindful of, because obviously they got that wonderful result against Man City, and those are the types of games that you don't really need to get up for. You know, it's a big game. Yeah. And now it's the teams that are in and around them, the West Hams, you know, and some of the other clubs, that they need to be totally focused and making sure they don't concede the kind of goals like they did today.
OK, well, let's now take a look at the Barclays Women's Super League table. Arsenal and Manchester United at the top with nothing to separate them. As I said, Arsenal are only above United on alphabetical order. Chelsea, though, remain in 3rd. Man City climbed 2 places, and Aston Villa dropped to 7th following those back-to-back defeats. Reading and Leicester at the bottom, still looking for their first points of the campaign. Now, in the Barclays Championship today, Lewes grabbed their first win of the season, beating 3rd place Charlton by 2-1. That goal there, Ellie Hack with the header to give them the lead after 5 minutes. The Addicts quickly responded to level things back up, and then Paula Howes with a great finish to claim all 3 points. Elsewhere in the Championship, Bristol City, of course, Anita works for Bristol City now. London City and Southampton all 1-0, and Coventry United are still searching for their first points of the season following a 3-2 defeat to Blackburn. Birmingham City against Durham was called off due to a waterlogged pitch. This is what the table looks like then. Bristol City maintain their unbeaten run, with London City Lionesses still chasing their tail. Southampton are up to 3rd, and Coventry United remain at the foot of the table. Well, coming up for you on the BBC tomorrow from 7 p.m, the Rugby League World Cup continues with Tonga against Wales. Then on iPlayer tomorrow, Women of Steel, a documentary following the England Women's Rugby League team ahead of their starts of the World Cup campaign. Live coverage of that tournament begins on the 1st of November on the BBC. Now, Dorking Wanderers women have a new chairman. It's the reality TV star and the son of footballing royalty Callum Best. That is available now on iPlayer.
I'm here to see what we can do with this club.
Our aim is to win the league and get promoted. I do find it hard juggling the football and the work.
Come on!
To bring it home, you have to start somewhere. Squad goals. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Looking forward to that, and something that we're already looking forward to despite it being next summer. But we've got every reason to be excited for it now, is because we've had the draw for the World Cup next summer taking place in New Zealand and Australia. And we know the teams that England are now going to play. It's there on the bottom of your screen. They're in Group D, Senegal, Haiti or Chile. The winner of Playoff B, of course, Denmark and China. What did you make of that group, Anita?
Yeah, I think it's a group that England will feel positive about. Of course, they know they have a lot of work to do before the World Cup, but it's a very positive group, and it allows all their games to be in Australia, which would be great from a travelling perspective.
Yes, Serena Wiegman will be very pleased with that indeed. Fern and Anita, as always, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you at home for watching too. The season is in full swing and it's already tight at the top. Bye-bye.
Lovely goal from Frida Martin. Arsenal march on.
Chance for Chelsea to wrap up the points here. Harder does just that.
Back-to-back wins for Gareth Taylor's Manchester City side.